Hello, Dania. Am I too close to the mic? Hello. I brought my mate with me. It's very early here, and I did stay up because of the match of last night. So yes. Wait a second. I had to get my my sweeteners, my sweeteners for the mate. I have to get used to having mate without no sugar, but it's tough. I don't like mate without sugar. It's strong. 5 a.m. Wow. Yes. The the lighting on this side is my heater. Is my heater. It's not a light. It's the heater that has like um, brightness. Um, but yes, I'm comfortable. Oh no! Please go to sleep, Dania. Don't fight it. Go to sleep. Mm. So anything happening in K-pop besides um IU and her and these actors break up? Lee Jong Suk, is it his name? I'm going to pull cards for them because someone asked. But of course, that we know that after a breakup, the vibes are not like it's very understandable if the vibes are not the greatest, of course. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Spirit, for the feedback. Yes, thank you so much. Tell her I say thank you. Yeah, that's what I got in 2025. That they had been through this before. They had been separated. It happened in your country. What happened? Mm. They had a concert. Wow. And Hypen is doing really well, right? Oh no. Oh wow. His one was her bias. Oh wow. For the these fans must be really uncomfortable. Like it must be awkward, not uncomfortable. It must be awkward. I believe. I don't know. I'm not, but um, I haven't experienced that myself. But for example, in EXO, that I'm not, I don't consider myself an EXO, but in EXO, Chen is my bias, and I feel a bit like nobody says it, especially now because of everything that is going on with EXO CBX. But there was a moment when there was a silence about Chen. Everyone praised others, and they don't praise Chen. I don't know. They is and if they say something, it's probably his voice. But I think that he has many talents. Like he's actually a very charming guy. It's just that I don't know. People maybe because of him being in a relationship, they don't see the you know the whole package. I think that he's great. I'm sure that in Korea it must be there must be more tension about Chen and everything, but I don't know why. The guy is still, I mean, if he can still pulls off his lines, if he can still sing, if he can still dance, if he is okay, if he's healthy, if he's, he can talk, he can express himself, he's not less of an entertainer. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that it's because of the fantasy that is being sold. So people cannot, separate. But she loves them all, so I know she has the feeling something. Yes. Oh, I love it for her. Yes. She has to appreciate, just appreciate them, support them. Join K-pop around the time that Chen joined. Chen got married. Chen is amazing. Yes. Yeah, I seen it. Yes, people had told me. Yes. I didn't know it was that bad, but it is bad. Yes. Yes, it is bad. He's helping them with their declining population. Why they met? I agree. He's a very useful individual, besides being a singer. I just that honestly, I would prefer for me to that my bias is married or that my bias, is able to achieve a long-term relationship with the same not with the same person, but I think that it has to do with the ability of them sustaining a relationship. And let's not even mention like them being a family man, like a father, a husband. I think that it's very admirable for a celebrity or for a singer. Um, I, I, I I think that I prefer to know that about my bias and not to be like, oh well, he had a breakup with this person and then he cheated and people are saying he cheated and people are saying that he was disrespectful to his partner and this happened and there's this drama, you know. If he found love in that person, I'm happy for him. It's a whole achievement also, and it's not easy to sustain a relationship through the years. So it must have been important for him. It always been her. So I think that people should, for me, I'm proud. So every time he thinks about love, I know he had experienced it. Mm. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. People are still crying that I'm getting married. I would love if my fabs were able to show their family lives. Yes. It's just that I think that you shouldn't, I mean, you shouldn't blame the guys or the girls. I think that it's the industry. The industry is based on that. It's based on, feeding people's illusions. So um, I think that is part of maturing. Stop blaming the external things in your life and start focusing on yourself. It's like, why are you so attached to this person, to this group, that at some point it makes you feel bad or it makes you feel um, just not okay? Like if something happens, you feel like you're falling apart inside. You know, I think that there must be a lack of security in someone's life. So you depend so much on what is going on with the group or with. Um, I mean, you can love them and support them, but if it affects your well-being, I think that you have to review that, because no artist, no, the greatest artists of time, they cannot, build your happiness for yourself. You have to build your own happiness. Mm. Yes, yes, it's even harder for women. I hope Pomi continues with I Pink after marriage and breaks this expiry date myth. Mm. Thank you for the likes, guys. Yes. I can't believe it's Sunday weekend last 2 seconds. We had like a national holiday, July the 9th. So it was a very long weekend. We had like a bridge called holiday. It was a long weekend. So I'm a bit lost with days. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's not, I'm not that invested, but people are, people are, very heart and soul about soccer here. And so, yes, even if you, if you try to avoid it, the sentiment, it gets to you. Just that it has been, I remember when I was younger in prior World Cups, I used to work for different sports brands. So the World Cup, it was a big deal. It was like a very intense year when it comes to, promotions and and trying to the decoration and the the different brands, everything that had to do with soccer for the different teams, different countries, the T-shirts, the soccer ball, all the equipment, the shoes, everything. So I think that it was an intense season for me, and I went through this, like, that the World Cup happens every 4 years. But every time I did have to work on that area, it was very busy. It was very busy. It was wild. People are really fans. They buy all the merchandising. They buy the big TVs. They buy new TVs if they have TVs. So it's a crazy atmosphere, and so I grew a bit. It's not that I don't care, but I became so detached to it because I was exhausted. I was exhausted. I was, surrounded by a lot of, merchandise and just people, being happy, happy and buying. So, it's a whole experience, It is the same with K-pop. Well, it's not the same, but I sort of the feeling, the thrill of wow, new merchandise. Like, oh, you knew this, and people just go crazy. They want to, buy everything, and of course, that brands make the most of that moment. they they definitely invest. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't, I don't. That's why I don't usually watch it, because I remember if 4 years ago when Argentina won, I was doing a live stream, and actually it was people in the chat that let me know that the match was happening, because I was doing a live stream. on that day at that hour, and people were like, that then, and it was a very long match. So I think that because of people, they were like, you guys won. So I was like, okay, I guess I will disconnect and I will go and watch with my dad. Um, so, and he was super happy, crying and everything. The city was also all celebrating. But I don't. That's why my good luck, my good luck charm is to not watch it. I don't watch the match, so somehow bring good fortune. Because since they won when I wasn't watching, I was like, okay, I don't have to watch. I just have to see the results. But I usually get bored during soccer matches. Like I do understand this. I do understand the game because I've always watched certain matches with my dad. So I do understand how it works. But I think that I can stay around the first half, and then the later half. It depends on how they're playing. If nothing happens, I get very bored. I get really bored and distracted. I don't have the patience. But it's very passionate. If you really are into it, and if you pay attention, it's a really passionate game. And also, I think that you cannot fake it on the on the soccer field. It is as artists being on the stage. It's the same. It's now or never. So this is why when I hear people that they're like, oh, there's there's this, I'm sure that there's corruption. Of course, that in FIFA, in any organization, there's always corruption, and soccer does move a lot of money. But at the same time, the World Cup, it's about the best. The best wins. There could be a lot of tricks, a lot of things happening, but if you play well, if you give it all, you're going to win. That's the thing. That's the thing that I think that there's certain people that don't have the culture of soccer. You have to be the best, and you cannot fake it. And it's not about popularity. Even Messi, he can be the best, and one day he can have a bad day or have a bad match. It can happen because he's human. These people are not gods. They're human. It's just that they train very well to be there. So if your team loses, it's because it wasn't good enough. That's the reality. It wasn't. You have to be the best to be there. And at the end, the best is going to win. So you want it, be the best. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. I know that people are, oh, well, this happened, it's so sad, and I wanted this. It's not about what we want. It's not about like, oh, I'm wishing on a star that my favorite soccer player and my favorite team, no, if they are not, I mean, it's like a wishful thinking, it's the same. I always think about it now that we're talking about K-pop. It's the same as you being a fan of a group and you wanting that group to win the song of the year. And this happens also. You know that the votes, the fans' votes, they do matter a lot. You know, besides the guys getting the nomination. So getting in the World Cup is like getting the nomination for the song. Okay, you made it. You entered. You know, you finally made it. But now it depends on how well, you know, how many votes are you going to get? How many votes are you going to get? And sometimes, you know, when there's certain groups, people complain like, oh, it's always the same group that gets the song. Well, because their fans had been organized and they had like worked a lot to get the votes, to get whatever they need so they can win. So it's about effort and consistency, yes. So if a fandom or if a group, they don't have it, if you don't have it, you're not going to win it. And it's not favoritism. You are not going to win it. You're not. This is why people always complain like, oh, why didn't this group win this? Well, did you guys work as a united front to do vote? Maybe some people did gather, and the fans, the fandoms, especially the big fandoms, they have a system, and for them it's like working hours. So it's like that. You want it, work hard. But it's just like a comparison that I'm making. I'm not saying that that's how it works, but I'm trying to, you know, give you an example of, you really want it, you have to work really hard, really. And yes, maybe there's a bit of luck, but most of all, you know, you have to be good. You know, you have to. If you're not, you can get lucky, like, oh, something, this is on my side. Well, but are you good? Have you done the work? I stopped getting so serious about games since I grew up, but my bro is still the same. But aren't the songs based only on critics, like those categories? I don't know. Well, I said the song. I don't know. I mean it like a nomination. Yeah, that is voted for fans. That's what I mean. That's what I meant. Sorry if I wanted to get like an analogy. Maybe I didn't do it well. Yeah, sales as well, you know, and actually those things are achieved because there's a lot of effort in that, and definitely there's a lot of like obsession. Talking about you know, Dania, you said something. Now I'm going to pull the cards for you, but something about American visa. You know, a lot of people from here that wanted to travel to see the World Cup, to see, you know, Argentina play, they didn't get the visa. They didn't get the visa, and there were a lot of people. There were even people that they won certain contests, certain. I don't know, they won the ticket to go there, or they won the ticket to go to the stadium, but they didn't have the visa approved. So, first of all, that's bad organization, because if you know that you're going to host the World Cup, I mean, I did like it better when they had it on Qatar. Qatar was, and also because Qatar was, I believe that it's super expensive to go there. So you really have to go, you know, well prepared. But at least I think that they treat like the whole, that they host you, the way they welcome people, it was all very nice. It was a nice experience from what I heard from people that went there. So it's worth the money. Yeah. I'm going to see, Daniel, if you're going to get your American visa approved. I see a yes, Daniel. I think that you will get it. We have Ace of Cups, and I have the Queen of Pentacles. I see a yes, a very strong yes. Yeah. Doors will open for you. No. No, I know that you're not going. Yeah, but you just ask for that American visa. Yeah, I think that it's definitely open for you. Yeah, it looks good. Mm-hmm. Looks very prosperous, yes. Yeah, exactly, Spirit. Exactly. It's because we are from Latam. Thank you. Yeah. And even look, because I know that people are like, oh, well, in Argentina, everyone is white. Look at me. I'm brown. I'm not white. And even if you're white, just because you come from a country that belongs to Latin America, it doesn't matter if you're white and if you have blonde eyes and blue hair. They discriminate you anyways. And they make it very difficult for you to enter. They will ask you a lot of questions like, why are you here? What is that you're carrying? So I had friends that yeah, they look white, but they went through a lot trying to enter through the airport. The persecution, it was a lot. Well, I don't know, guys. I think that, I don't know, the negativity is a lot. It's just that it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to make people that they don't know, about our history. And also, since I speak English, and I'm not in, I don't express myself that well. But our history is so complex, and we are the mix of a lot of races. My grandpa from my mom's side, he was a person of color. He was from Paraguay. My mom was born in Paraguay. Then I also had like a Japanese relative. Also, I have I have also Brazilian, blood in me. I have a mix. Then of course, if you look at me, you notice that I have like indigenous, traits as well in my face. So we are a mix of a lot. And my mom was white also, but she was, she had 6 brothers, and all of them were different. Um, there were people with darker tone of skin. There were people in the middle, and then there was my mom, that she was the youngest, that she, was born being white and with blondish kind of hair. So it's all a mix, and it's really hard to, I think that I hate it when people try to put you in a box, because we embrace our diversity. We embrace it. We are the proof. I mean, I'm sitting here, you can look at me and you can ask me, like, where are you from? Like, what is your race? I'm a mix of a lot of races. I cannot tell you. I think I have a bit of Egyptian also in my bloodline. So I'm sorry, I cannot participate. I cannot participate in that sort of like, And yes, I do have relatives that they're white. So what? Is so tragic for me. So like I feel deeply like offended. Like I know about classism. I know what is being racist. I haven't experienced racism, but I understand how the color of your skin sometimes in different settings, it sort of is like a ticket for you to get something or not. For example, when it comes to movies, when it comes to representation, I would say we do have a lot of indigenous people in here. Like I look indigenous myself, and you don't see us on TV. You don't see us being represented on telenovelas or on the TV, or as news anchors. You don't see us hosting shows on TV or being pop stars. It's usually the white people or the people that have blue eyes. But my dad has blue eyes. He has the bluest eyes, and he is brunette. He's even darker in skin than me, but he has blue eyes. So we are all a mix. You know how I cannot I just cannot participate in those conversations, because I feel like, what about the people that we are a mix, and that yes, we had experienced classism, and it's sort of like you feel it, you feel it like, oh, is it because of the color of my skin that you're not choosing me? I see it. I have experience in that, but that I cannot say that I experience people being cruel towards me. No, because we don't allow that here. We don't allow that here. We embrace all nationalities. We embrace that there's others. I'm sure that disrespect comes in different colors. So I'm sure that disrespectful people there must be out there. Some maybe Argentinians overseas, making a fool of themselves. But that's because they are not educated. I think that that's an individual decision. They don't represent us, the country. But since my mom came from another country that also, Paraguay is Paraguay, Peru, sometimes Chile, there's division. There's like, oh, you come from that place, or Bolivia, for example. So, but at the end of the day, a lot of people from other countries came here to Argentina to work and being able to feed their families. So I'm super thankful to my homeland, because it gave my mom, just like other people from other countries that came after war or after a very bad time or a bad era in their lives, in their own countries. They have to leave their country. They have to come here so they can build something, so they can give their children a future. And Argentina was that place, and it opened the possibilities for them. And it keep us fit. It keep us fed. Argentina is very prosperous. It's very, it's a country that we, this that we have, the mate is not just, to be like, oh, I drink it with the straw. No, we share it with everyone. We share it with everyone. It's like, if you guys were here, like on a run with me, even if you guys don't like it, I would be like, sharing it with you guys. Do you want? And that's how we build friendship. Because for us, it's important to include people. So I think that if you are not from this part, you don't understand. But I think that every culture is rich. This is why I love so much this community that I have, because it has allowed me to get to know you guys, and you guys, from your perspective, you're like, Vanessa, this is happening where I live, and this is happening where I'm from, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that, and I'm so thrilled, honestly, like I'm so thrilled, and this is the thing about us, is that we are super curious about other people's, like, not just languages, but we are so curious about, like, okay, what do you do and how do you do it, and we are so curious about people's. I have a lot of Venezuelan people that also they came here after their country is not in good conditions, and they always tell me, like, with tears in their eyes, Argentina is my home. I had to leave my home. I had to leave my country to be here, and it's an unknown place. And people had given me a place, and they cry while they tell me this. And this is the thing. Can you imagine what it's like you having to leave your country, the place that with your language, with your costumes? Can you imagine what it's like to leave that security because you cannot feed yourself? There's no future for you. There's no jobs. There's no opportunity. So someone is like, okay, what are you going to do? You have to go. You have to go and find a better future. And people have left their families and they come here for work or to study. And I find it so, like, so brave, because if you were to tell me, Vanessa, you have to get out and leave, just go somewhere else because you cannot live here anymore. Things are not okay, and we are not okay, like economically, our situation is not the best. But I don't know if I would have the courage, to leave. Like, I think that I would, because out of desperation, you have to survive. But it's a traumatic experience for someone to leave their country and maybe leave their family and having to go, my Venezuelan friends, the people that I work with also, they left and they work extra hard here, and then they send money to their relatives over there. So it's, I don't know, I have it's a sensitive subject, I think that only if you're from Latam, you understand what we mean. Sometimes we laugh, we are loud, and we are like all crazy for soccer, but we are not okay. Our situation is not the best. We are not millionaires, but we have each other. So, we have each other. So I think that feeling, you just have to be here to feel it. And, for me, it's like everyone, it's a potential part of my community, of my family. If someone from another country comes one day, I'm going to be like, welcome, what, like, how can I help you? At work, while I was at work, I often would have people that they wouldn't speak Spanish, and I would try to use my broken English to help them, because it must be a very vulnerable situation where you are like in a place and you are not fluent. So, to know a language, sometimes it builds bridges. So I think that I am against people that or people or certain speeches that don't build unity, that they don't get us closer. Instead, they keep us separated. Like, oh, you're dead. Oh no, I'm staying away from that. Oh no, you're dead. I'm staying away. No, at least in my education, I wasn't raised to be like that. I was always raised to be welcoming, to be respectful, to be open to the other, because the other is me. We don't know how this is unfolding. We don't know the future. So the other, the different, is also me. Sorry for the ranting. My dad went to Qatar to see Messi, not a single Mexico match. And it was expensive, I'm sure. Yes, exactly, Spirit. We're all human. We are all human. Every time I do I do those tests to see your celeb look like, I get black people. But one, I don't even know who she was, but she did really look so much alike. It was crazy. I only got the other day, not the other day, it was a long time ago. I got Jessica Alba. Yes, this discrimination happens a lot in India, but have experienced it myself, and it's utterly disrespectful and completely false. Every time people see someone indigenous online, exist in the comments are Bolivian, Peruvian, Oxagon moment. Yeah, I'm embracing it. I always embrace it. Because, even the other day I was, having a conversation with my godmother, because she sells a certain, like, she sells that is like Mary. I don't know if you guys know about this. It's like this brand that sells beauty products, but they come in catalogs. It's like Mary Jane. Is it Mary Jane or Mary Kate? I think that is like Avon. Well, but it's called Natura. It's Brazilian. Well, she has been selling this forever. So every time she comes with, oh, do you want to buy something? I'm like, okay, I don't need it, but to help you, I will buy something. And I bought this color tinted sunscreen, and it took me forever to try to decide what color shade. And at the end, they have only two colors. They have, like, yes, white that is very white, that is very bright, and then they have brown. So it's very brown. So I mix it with other kind of, um, with other foundation base that I have, liquid base, to make it lighter. Because, and I always tell her, like, because she's like, oh, you have to get the darker tone. Yeah, but that's not my shade. Like, I'm in the middle, because I'm my skin is not white nor brunette. I'm not tanned. I'm not olive. So I'm reddish. I get very red in the face. That's very indigenous also. My face is red. My color is red. If I get darker, maybe it's in my hands, you will see that I'm brown. But in here, in my face, I'm red. So I cannot, it doesn't suit me when I use those, like, bronzers and those things. It just makes me very pale and old and older than what I look. Mary, yeah, Natura. Yes, my mom sells it. Yes, Natura. Natura. But they have great colors, great products. I do love it that they also help, communities. I always buy something, because they have charity. They do donate, so, and everything is super eco-friendly. So I love it. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with being a mix of everything. A mix of everything. But white, I'm not white. When I was younger, I was a bit maybe lighter, but I've always been very hairy. I always had a lot of hair. My eyebrows were huge. It's just that the 2000 happened. I did, I did something to my eyebrows to make them thinner, and they never came back. So yeah, this is the result of the 2000s, and I never were able to bring them back. But I did have very prominent Frida Kahlo unibrow. I did have that. I did. I have to show you childhood pictures, and it's like me having one eyebrow. Yes, and probably a mustache. Yes. So, so yeah. So yeah, I'm very hairy, very hairy. Mm. But well, it's nice. I think that it's nice. It's nice to have, um, for me, it's like having flavor. When you have different ethnicities, you sort of have flavor. You are more interesting. You are like a mix, so it's more different. Um, Me too. I let them grow recently. My mom called me Frida Kahlo. It still hurts so there. Oh my god. But where was Frida Kahlo's representation when I was a child? Because you know that there was a time in the, when was it, when everything was Frida Kahlo inspired? Like it was like in the 2010s that every picture. I even have a doll that is Frida Kahlo inspired. Um, that it was like everywhere. But when I was a child, I didn't see anything of her. I think I learned from her in high school then, with the famous, artist. I learned her history, then later while I was in high school. Uh, Okay, guys, I'm going to start with my reading. Sorry for the ranting, because I do have a lot of people today. Yeah, like 2014. Yes, the hipster era. Exactly. We only learned about both Picasso before that. Those aesthetics were weird. Remember the flowers, the crown flowers, the headbands. But they were everywhere. She had very iconic phrases. I do like that. Yes. I'm going to keep reading for the mother figures in K-pop, and I'm going to start with Enhypen Jungwon, EXO Suho, SHINee Key, Twice Jeongyeon, NCT Jaemin, WayV Kun. I have, I believe it's a Chinese actor or singer, I don't know, Daniel Zhou, and NCT Sion. And then I have, the later recommendations that you guys left. That is about IU and Lee Jong Suk after the breakup. I have, I'm going to pull cards for H2H Carmen. And then US Spirit, you mentioned a reading for WOODZ. So yes, I'm going to be reading for those. Okay. Yes, a long way to go. But the motherly figures is going to be short. Like I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards and 1 extra for each. Okay, I'm going to start with Enhypen Jungwon. How, if he is like the mother of the group, let's see his style or how he feels about this. Let's see, Jungwon. He's very brave guy. Okay, for Jungwon, we have the 4 of Cups, we have the Tower, we have the Temperance, and then I have the 7 of Wands. That is says bravery. Yeah, he feels like a fireman, trying to put out the fire. Maybe there's a lot of drama around him. I mean, I think that he's a very sweet guy. It's just that there's, a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are changing. So I think that, with the 4 of Cups, definitely he feels a bit disconnected with this motherly energy. He probably is someone that the way he cares for the group or the way he tries to, maybe console them is by being a bit detached, and actually just being like, okay, I don't need anything, or, I'm okay, while his world is falling apart, inside he's falling apart, there's a sense of a lot of things are changing, and the way he, he maybe goes around this is just trying to detach from the chaos or act like, okay, yeah, nothing is happening, a bit of denial that something is changing. I think that he prefers to deal with his emotions alone. He doesn't like to influence others. He's like, if I have a bad vibe or if I'm not feeling my greatest, or if I'm not feeling like my best, I will not, get this out, and I will not let people show. I will not let people know that I'm going through this. But definitely he feels very responsible, of course, maybe because he's the leader, so there's something about him emotionally being a bit detached, but he doesn't feel sad. He doesn't feel sad. He just feels like, okay, we have to go through this. It is what it is. It's just that he probably doesn't reach out. There's something about you being like, okay, I guess I will not ask you. And if, someone asks him, like, how do you feel? Or do you need something in particular? Can we help you? Like, can we assist you? Maybe the members are like, can we do something for you? He's like, no, I don't need anything. I'm okay. this is the way he deals with transformation, with chaos. I think that what I see here is that he's like, I'm always surrounded by chaos all the time. So somehow he has learned to be detached, being like, okay, it is what it is. And we have, the temperance. So he's very wise, actually. He's a very wise guy. And I think that he's a very important part for the group. Definitely he is like this healing mother. It's just that it feels like he's the kind of mother that always tries to make you feel better about things. So he hides how he really feels or how it impacts him. His world or his inner world is falling apart, but he will not show it. He will show you like everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. We have to be together. We have to, cooperate. We have to be okay. We have to be positive, But at the end, he gets the message that he sends is very positive. Is very positive. He's a great, I don't want to say like mother figure. I think that he's a great leader because he shows people with action. He shows them, let's not freak out. Let's not do that. Let's not freak out. I think that maybe his experience in Enhypen had always been very unstable. There's always something going on. Even if it doesn't have anything to do with the group, there had always been something going on. So he's somehow used to this. And also we have the seventh ones, that is his bravery. So he's always ready to put out the fire. He's like, guys, don't freak out. Just go out there. Do your part. Do your part. Just do your part. Be brave. Let's continue. Let's continue. And also I want to say, he's a very responsible leader. He's like, whatever comes our way, it's not that he is denying the existence of like, oh my God, things are changing, but he's been brave about this. He's also been logical. He's not freaking out. He's like, okay, I know this feeling. We know this is going to happen. So let's not freak out. Let's not freak out. I love him. I love him. The sweetest. The sweetest, this man. I have a huge respect for him. And he's very young. And he's super brave. He's super brave. Hey, Parvati. Okay, I'm going to continue with EXO Suho. EXO Suho, let's see. What kind of mother, if he's the motherly vibe of this group, EXO. The tower card today, the tower card is like, these people do sustain a lot. These people do sustain a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we have the sun for Suho. We have the Knight of Cups. And we have the Tower. So he's a bit like the pacifier of the group. And we have the Handman. So there's not much. Like, I think that Suho is very patient. He's also super positive. With the cards in here, he's like very positive. He's very loving. The message that he always sends is a message of patience and tolerance, and he loves his fans very much. Also, I think that more than him being a motherly figure for the members, I think that he's like the motherly figure for the fans. He's like, "Wait, guys, don't panic. I know things are rough. Please don't abandon the ship yet," And also he's super positive, and I think that he's also someone that he's like, I have to show myself, probably his role besides being the leader, he's like, he has to show his face a lot, or he has to be, in the front a lot. He has to be exposed a lot. So there's something about him also wanting to have fun while doing this. He's like, I will not show a side of me that is depressing, that is like nervous, serious. He's like, no, people are watching, people are waiting for us. So we have to show them a good time, but also he's like someone that he addresses the chaos. With the tower, the Knight of Cups is looking at the tower. So he's like addressing that there's chaos, that something is falling apart, and that there are dark moments and not so many good moments, but he's like, putting a sort of like a veil of compassion and understanding. It's like, guys, we still love you. We still love each other. It's just that times are difficult now. Times are changing. Things are falling apart. The situation is not, is not a right moment of like, oh, we are building something. It's more like, it is what it is. It's chaos. Things are not, just like I said, every time I do an EXO reading, the tower always comes up. So there's something that is falling apart, definitely. Things are not the same. It's just that I think that from Suho's perspective, he's trying to do this or deliver this message, being very kind, being very empathic, being very sweet, because he understands that there's a lot of feelings involved and that maybe people are very emotional about them. And he's emotional also. He's super emotional about the group and about the fans. So he's like, hang in there, guys. I know I don't have, the best news to give you, but I'm trying to keep positive, But at the same time, we have the handman. So I think that this is not up to Suho. It's not up to Suho to sustain anything or to prevent chaos, because he cannot. As the handman, he just has to sit and observe what is going on. Not judge it. Not trying to, go like we got Jungwon. He got the card of bravery, and he got the fireman in the card. In here as the handman, you just have to let things unfold the way they are unfolding. It has to be like this. Just let it be. There's a lesson also in here, and probably he doesn't have also the influence nor the power to do something, to stop things from falling apart. Things are falling apart, and it is what it is. And I think that he's trying to be, the more his most authentic self. That is like, I will keep delivering a message of, of optimism and happiness, and I will not hide. I will show myself. You guys will see me. I will interact with you. But yeah, things are out of control. But he just has to observe, and maybe, this is how fans feel at the same time. Fans also feel like the handman, like, what is going on? but it's like, let's be kind to each other. I think that his message is to be kind, to be nice to one another. It's like, let's not destroy each other. Let's not do that. Let's just go through this crisis, change of identity. I don't know. Let's go through this with grace. Let's not destroy each other. Let's not destroy the love that we have for each other. Yes. Okay. I'm going to continue with SHINee Key. Let's see if he is like the mother, or if he has like motherly influence, or if he's like the mother figure of the group. Let's see. Let's see what he has to give. He's stronger. He's a very rigid mother. If he's your mother, he's going to be very rigid. He's going to be very much like, you listen to me. But he loves power. He loves, if he had the possibility to be like a mother figure, it would be to use his influence to tell you what to do or how to get things done. A bit of tough love. Okay, he got the 5 of Cups. He got the Strength card. He got the Sun. And then we have the Emperor. So, I think that there's a duality in Key that, he can be the nicest and the most understanding and compassionate one. But at the same time, there's a part of him, with the Emperor that it feels very Aries, very fire, very bossy even. He's like, this is how things get done in this industry. This is what my experience has taught me. And he definitely has experience. So he's a tough person. So if you want advice from him, you better, get tough, because he's not going to sugarcoat things for you. He's a great leader. It's just that he's like, I'm not that soft. He had learned a thing or two, especially about losing, about grieving, about grief. The 5 of Cups. It's like, what do you do when you lose something? How do you recover? People that haven't lost yet, they don't know the feeling, the afterwards, how tough it is to get out of a grief period, or maybe being still grieving, being still in the grief period, not completely over. Actually accepting that you have to live with it, that you will never get over it. But at the same time, he's a very bright individual. He's a very bright person. He has taught a lot of people, or maybe even his members, to be stronger, to be courageous. With the Sun card, it's like, let's go out there. Let's be authentic. Let's show ourselves. Again, like the people want to see us. Let's show ourselves. Let's show up. It's not about hiding that you're sad or that you are grieving and that you will never recover. But he's like, let's hold it in for a while. People don't want to see us sad all the time. It's like, we don't, there's something about him that he's like, we don't want people to always, think when they see us, what they will always think about, like, oh my God, like they are suffering, or they had lost a very important member, or they had lost, a loved one. It's like, we don't want people to recognize us just for that. We have to move on. We have to hold ourselves together and get stronger because they need us to be stronger. So he's like, let's work. Let's put the work. Let's get to work. Let's show our faces. Let's go get invited to different shows. Even if people are tired of seeing our faces, I will keep showing up. You will see me. You will not cancel me. There's something just very daring and very, very powerful about him. And I think that, yeah, it has to do about him also holding the impulses. It's like, yeah, sometimes we are sad. Sometimes, we wish we could go back in time where things were different, where the business was different, where, our dynamic was different. But, it is what it is. And it's showtime. So let's do it. Let's show ourselves. We are entertainers. We have to show ourselves. People don't want no sad vibes. And with the emperor, he's very authoritarian. He will tell you like it is. He will tell you like his experience has taught him. Like, you have to be brave. Take up space. Don't let anyone steal your place. Demand your space. Especially if you're someone that have experience. And if you don't have experience, acquire it. But he will come back, Spirit. You cannot hold Key down. He will appear. He will appear. Okay, let's see. Twice Jeongyeon. Let's see. Let's see the motherly vibes from her. What kind of mother figure is she in the group? Yeah, she's sweet. She's very stable. At least in this point in her career, she's not so much on her feelings. I know that she is, she is a water sign, but in here, I see that she's using, her feelings to, to be there for the others, to help the group. But at the same time, she's also detaching a bit. She's becoming much more like, like I am the mother in the group or motherly figure, but at the same time I'm becoming more serious. I'm becoming more like, like I will keep my distance and I will watch you from afar because I believe in you. I know that you can do this. I know that you got this, that you don't need me to be babying you. You got this. So I will also start looking more at my future or at my horizon, at my individual things. She's also like a bit like detaching a bit from the responsibility. She's super responsible. I mean, she feels responsible for the girls, for the group well-being, but at the same time, she's probably having more collaboration of the members. The members are putting of themselves as well. So it doesn't feel that heavy on her. It feels like she can finally, move from that mother overprotective kind of energy. Like, if I don't do it, no one does it. She's like becoming more mature, I guess, and she's like more like, okay, I will keep my distance and let you guys, handle this because you got this, you know this. It's been a lot of years. Yes. Okay, for Jeongyeon, we have the Three of Cups, we have the Two of Wands, we have the Two of Pentacles, and yes, we have a Mother of Earth that is like the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, I think that, and also I see this woman here, and I'm like, more than mother, she feels like the grandmother. You know, she's very wise. She's very wise. You know, she also, I think that there's something about Jeongyeon that since she went through a lot, you know, about transformation, you know, going through changes, adapting, learning. In a few years, she went through a lot. Like probably, like in a few years, she went through, I don't know, like a 10-year experience for someone. She went through a lot. So it seems like internally she had, you know, become like older, I must say. So, but I think that, yes, she's, you know, she's like, you know, I have a great team. You know, I'm able to be this motherly figure, or I'm able to help the members because they had helped me as well. So it's like, you know, it's like a two-way, you know, bond. There's reciprocity, there's collaboration, there's companionship. So it's not so much like, oh yeah, I'm the one that takes care of things. No, it's more like we help each other out. So now I don't feel that, you know, that like she doesn't feel like, oh my God, I have to be this. No, she's like, they had helped me as well. So it's like, you know, she probably had also been mothered by other members as well at some point. So it's like she also had learned that she can be, you know, guided or taken care of or pampered, or you know, that let others take care of you as well. You know, not always you being the one that cares. So I think that it has changed, you know, her perspective with the Two of Wands. It had shaped the way she had seen herself, or the role that she was having in the group. You know, something is changing, something is moving. You know, something in her is moving, and it's like a new chapter, and it's a new vision. And Jeongyeon is changing. Jeongyeon is letting things happen, or letting things go the way they're supposed to go. You know, she, you know, with the Queen of Pentacles, you know, I think that yeah, she's much more, she's a strong, you know, she's like, okay, you know, I will always be reliable. I will always be, you know, that trustworthy person. So if you need me, I'm going to be over here. But at the same time, she's also like a bit like, you know, giving them room, and giving herself the possibility to experience more things for herself. You know, it's like she's letting them fly on their own, and they're going to be okay. Okay, I'm going to continue with NCT Jaemin. I don't know if he's like considered the mother of the group, but yeah, let's see. Let's see for NCT Jaemin. Three major arcanas. Okay, for Jaemin, we have the Hangman, we have the Lovers, and we have the Star. And then from the other deck, we have a Page of Wands, Daughter of Fire. Page of Wands. So, I mean, I think that I don't feel the motherly vibes from him. I think that he is just he's fulfilling his duty. His duty is to be important. He's the star. We have the star here. We have all major arcana. So definitely his role feels more spiritual. I don't think that there's something that he does, but he inspires the others because he's a doer. He's like, I don't see him like he's like, well, I do this for the group, or I am like this for the group, or I talk to the members, or I do this for them. I think that he's just this person that he adapts, that he and also with the handman, I think that probably there's other personalities in the group, or there had been another kind of another members that they have more like an inclination to wanting to be like the mother or the father, or the one that guides, or the one that is like, well, guys, we should be like this, more like, I'm going to talk to the group, and I want us all to be united, and he's like listening. He's just observing. He's actually very observant. He doesn't get in the way of anyone's plans. He goes with the flow because he knows that the group is very changeable. I don't know if the group is a Gemini group, but with the lovers, it feels like he's like, things are always changing with us. There's days where we love each other, and there's days when we cannot stand each other. So with the lovers, it's like, I just go with the flow. I have bad days and good days, and at the end we have the sun card. Not the sun card. We have the star card. So at the end, he pulls off his charm, and he delivers. He's a star. He shines very much. They definitely do need him in the group because he brings the shining. He brings the stardom. He brings the show. He's super bright, super bright. And also with the page of wands, he's a starter. He starts. I don't know if he starts the party, or if he starts, whenever his part starts, it seems like the energy starts with him, and he's super adventurous. He's very curious as well. He's like, okay, what do I have to do? How do I move? Okay, bring the lights, bring it over here. I will start this. I will get the party started. He's super brave also. It's just that he is, with the page of wands, he is impulsive. He is reckless. I think that it depends on how he feels, but he's like, I will go first. And then he maybe evaluates, like, how did I do? But I think that he's always ready for action. He's very trustworthy in that sense, that whenever you need something to get done in the group, he's like, I will go. I don't know where I'm going, but do you want me to go first? I will go. I will break this awkward silence that there's between us, or I will break this, because there must be certain members that are very awkward, and maybe this is the moment that NCT is going through right now. This is why we have Jaemin as the handman, as the first card, because there's something about their energies are changing. Mark is not with them. So maybe he's like observing, like, okay, what the others want to do, how do they want to do it? I will just adapt to whatever they say. I don't see Jaemin taking the lead. I don't see him being like, guys, now I'm going to call the shots. No. No, but he is a strong horse. He's a strong power. He is like the one that you put to win. He's like a winner. He's the one that you're like, okay, if I put him next, he's going to be the winner, or he's going to pull this off. He has the energy. He's a star also. He's great. It's just that he's like, I don't know. He's like, some days they want to put me in the spotlight, some days they forget about me. And when I say this, I don't mean it the group. I think that is the same. So he's like, I'm always amazing. It's just that sometimes they think about me and they're like, oh yeah, let's put Jaemin in there. And some days they don't remember that I'm part of the group. So he's like, at this point, just call me when you need me. Just that things must be sensitive over there. Okay. Let's go for WayV Kun. WayV Kun. My poor Kun. It's tough being a Capricorn in NCT, in NCT universe, full of fire and sign and yeah, the Ace of Pentacles. I mean, he is, at the he's successful at the end. I don't know if he has the money or if he's going to be all right, but I think that about mother, I don't know. I also think that there's a lot of beginnings. There's a lot of like unknown territory. So he's a bit fighting this, like changes. Just like I said, it's tough being an earth sign in NCT, where there's always something happening, a change, a sudden change. And he's like, whoa, how do I do this? The Fool for Kun, Knight of Swords, the Judgment. And he's also always getting judged, poor guy. But we have the Ace of Pentacles. So at the end, it's him in the group that maybe they get the job done and is successful. It's like moderate success, but it brings them more opportunities. It's like the results are there. Maybe it's not what people expect, but he is successful in his role in the group. He is a very consistent person. There's results. It's just that maybe people judge these results. They're like, oh, we expected more from you. And I think that is everyone that does this, not just the fans, probably is the company as well. Like, yeah, you done well, but we kind of expected something more. Just that the group is unstable. And I think that this is not the group's fault. They were slowly pushed to having to reinvent themselves so many times. Just like any regular NCT unit at this point. So I think that for someone like Kun, he's full of ideas, and I do see him speaking up against this. I do see, it's not that he refuses to change, but I think that he hates unpredictability, and this is very earth sign. I would hate it too. It's like, you should have let me know that things were going to be developed like this. You never let me know. You never let the group know about future plans. So he feels like he's always like, asking for answers. He's always knocking on some people's doors. Like, can we talk about the future of WayV? Can we talk about the group? Can you give us a feedback? Can you let us know what are we going to do next? Like, he's always demanding answers. And I think that in this point, I think that at this point of his career, maybe Kun is getting a bit irritated with the lack of consistency. It's like they're always forced to start anew. It's like, well, work with what you have. This is what you have, so yeah, do your best. And he's like, but where are we going? Like, what is the foundation of this? There's no foundation. So he, in the judgment, he's also judging the way things are being done. He's feeling very irritated, very like angry, probably he's calling people out, or he's, maybe, being very critical of certain decisions that had been made for the group. He is very angry about this. Very angry. Because, yeah, definitely, like, it's something doesn't go well. He's like the face of the group. He's like the leader. So, the bad vibes always goes towards Kun. he's like, oh, well, he's the leader, he should have done something about this. And he's like, it's out of my control. I had tried to speak to these people, but they don't listen to me. They ignore me. But yeah, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So I think that the thing with Kun is that I don't see him going anywhere. I think that he's very loyal. He's very loyal. He's very hardworking. He aims towards success, towards opportunities, towards getting the job done. So even with this heaviness, he will continue being this, I don't want to say like motherly figure of the group, because I think that he feels very irritated. He feels very irrational. Even he can lash out at a lot of people, and things are not okay. But I think that he's not fighting against the members or trying to get um, you know um, nervous around the members, but I think that he feels like he had enough, with all these makeovers, with all these, oh, let's start over, oh, let's start over, oh, let's start over. How many times are we going to start over? Why do we have to get to this point of being on the edge? Why? I would freak out if I was him. He must have like some, with the Ace of Pentacles, he must have some money invested in SM, or there must be some actions in there, some investment. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. He must have a sense of security in there. He must have like a job or something that pays his bills, or that actually, allows him to have a certain stability, like monetarily, because there's no way a Capricorn is going to stay in that environment. Probably. There's opportunities for him. So maybe there's a spot in there. Okay, I'm going to continue with this actor, I believe. Artist, Chinese actor, artist. His name is Daniel Zhou. I think that his real name is Zhou Ku. Daniel Zhou. Maybe he's a singer. I don't remember now. I wrote down his name and I didn't write anything else. But let's see why this person asked about, maybe it's about his motherly vibes or how he is doing. He's very stable himself. He's very stable. I think that he's like going there. He's very emotional. Queen of Wands, Four of Cups, Knight of Cups. And then we have, in here it says Father of Earth. That is like the King of Pentacles. I see him very stable. I mean, there's moments where he feels a bit like also disconnected with the Four of Cups. There's moments where he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know, what is going to be my next step. But then I think that I see him always like advancing with a lot of love. Maybe he's also, very loyal to his audience, to his fans, because he sends this very positive also message of like, I will continue. We will continue. He's very brave as well. He loves, he's very artistic, as the Queen of Wands, there's this energy of like him being like, this is my destiny. This is what I'm very proud of my career. And and also the king of pentacles, you know, he's very trustworthy. He's very trustworthy. Like an old soul, you know, inside. He's very trustworthy. I don't know if he's an earth sign himself, but I think that he's like, I will continue. I will continue. I don't think that he went through something. I think that with the Four of Cups, there's maybe it's a bit of boredom from him, you know, him getting a bit bored of certain maybe deals or certain things that he had to do at some point in his career. Maybe, you know, him having to, you know, promote himself and just, you know, trying to get his name recognized or trying to get certain opportunities that maybe he was like, yeah, they were okay, but I didn't feel. He's a feeler, you know. He needs to feel that, okay, this is my calling, or I'm loving this. So maybe he really did very well in some aspects in his life or in his career, but then there was a moment of like, I'm a bit like bored of this. Like, yeah, you know, I'm getting a good feedback, but I don't feel that passionate. But, you know, he's someone that he will always give the fans or the audience a grade. It's like, wait for me. There's a lot of things to look forward for me, from me to you. You know, he feels very personal. Is he a singer? Because I feel like poems, or, you know, he may be writing poems or maybe writing lyrics, that it feels very emotional. Or maybe he plays the roles of very romantic people. And I think that in that aspect, he does very well. In that, you know, when he can open up and talk about how he feels. Um, he's very charming as well. He's very charming. I think that his career, it feels like his success depends on how emotionally available he is or how happy he is with his work. And also I think that he's a great influence for others. If he works with others, you know, he is a great influence. He's always there. He's always open. It's like, if you want to talk to him, if you work with him and you want to talk to him about something, he's always open to listen to you. He's very empathic, very empathic. And he will always bring this sweetness to his speech. You know, he's very sweet. He's very considerate. He is a gentleman. So I can kind of, maybe women love him so much because he's super sweet. I feel it in his energy. He's very sweet, very gentle, you know. Yeah, but the king of pentacles, he's also a builder. So he's like, you know, I'm going to make the most of my career. I have experience also, like, nobody's moving me from here. I will keep advancing, or I will keep remaining in my career. So very nice. Okay, I'm going to continue with NCT Sion. Let's see. No, he's the leader. I don't know if he has like motherly vibes, but let's see. Let's see for NCT Sion. NCT Wish Sion. The Knight of Cups today, it came out a lot. So, you know, I think that these people are super nice. And I think that this is important. You know, this is important because, you know, sometimes when you are part of a group, or when there's a group or there's others involved, you know, having the energy of the Knight of Pentacles is very, it talks about someone that is very truthful and someone that you know, tries to deliver the news or the feedback the best way possible, without trying to, harm others, or, just being very nice, just being very gentle, being very considerate, and just, making everyone feel like, okay, like I'm listening to you, or I'm paying attention. Yeah, tell me how you feel. Like, I'm always available. Whatever you need of me, I will be here. And if I have to say something to you, like a feedback or something, I will do it from a place of respect, and also understanding your points of view. So it's so nice that that some people got this card, because it's not easy. It's not easy. The knights, they carry different suits. They carry different, I don't want to say weapons, but they carry different, different things in their hands. So it's different the way they deliver. So, in this case, I'm happy that the Knight of Cups came out a lot. Okay, for Sion, Knight of Cups. 4 of Wands, we have the World. Very good news he has for the guys also. And we have a Son of Air in this deck. Is called Son of Air, and this is the Page of Swords. So yeah, I think that his intellect, maybe the way he communicates to the guys, is still young. I think that he's a great communicator because he does it from the heart. So he's very genuine and he's very sweet. He really cares for the group. It's just that, the Page of Swords, it's not perfect. He can somehow maybe mess up in certain, like, maybe words, or certain, maybe paraphrasing. Like, he's the sentiment behind how he talks to the members is very sweet and considerate. But maybe, when we think about words, like the element of air, the element of the swords, the Page of Swords is someone that probably, said something and then is like, wow, I understood what you said, but then I didn't. Like, there's something about your speech that feels very impulsive, and maybe it's like some people get it and some people don't. It could be about, language barrier or something like that. So he has to work on those aspects. I think that he still has to work on those. Maybe he's very sensitive. So I think that he is a good reader of people. He can maybe be like, oh, I think that this member, maybe he did misunderstand what I said. Because I think that he still needs to work on. And there's a bit of excitement also with the Page of Swords. Maybe he gets very excited about telling the members something, or being like, guys, I have this. I think that they want us to do this, or they want us to go this way. So I wanted to let you guys know, and maybe he can share things too early. So I would be like, work on your communication skills. You are great, because he does care for the group. He definitely gives me mother vibes. He's very sweet. But at the same time, I think that he wants to, maybe he spills the tea too early. Maybe there are certain things that he has to hold to himself, certain information, wait for confirmation, and then you tell the group. But I think that he's just so excited to share with the guys, because at the end, he's still, I don't want to say a baby, but he's still very young himself, even though he has the responsibility to look out after the others. But yeah, he delivers great news. I think that he's super excited to what's to come for NCT Wish. For NCT Wish, there's a lot of, opportunities, a lot of openness, a lot of events. They're going to be super busy, going places, celebrating with others. We also have the world card. So, a world is being opened to them, to Sion and to maybe Turin. Could it be Turin? I think that there's a lot of openness for NCT Wish, and he is the one that is like, guys, we have to be ready, because good things are coming. Our moment is coming, and I think that he feels super proud of this. He's super excited to give this news to 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 the guys. I think that he's you know he loves being part of the group, and he loves the members. Probably he loves them a lot, like a mother, I would say. He loves them a lot because there's something about he cannot help it, but really getting emotional when it comes to the members. And he's like, I'm so happy that I can tell you guys that we have, work to do, or that we are going to places, we are going to meet different cities, or we are going to travel, and we are going to do this and that, and they are telling us that they want us to do this more. So there's a lot of celebration, and I think that him as the leader, or I feel him that he feels very responsible for the group. So he's like, I'm so happy that they want us, that they want us to continue. So he feels like very protective. He also is like, I want to let the guys know that we are doing great, that we are, very well received. There's a lot of love. And probably, when they talk to Sion, maybe SM, or whoever manages, NCT Wish, they probably do talk to him, they're very kind or considerate with Sion. So I think that, and also they're new. They're like the new employees, of this place. So of course that everything is positive and everything is shining, when you give the results that they want. We will see later with time, because we know, we that we are fans, we know. We hope they keep the positivity for the wishes, but yeah, it's the same. But I think that when it comes to Sion feels super positive. He feels full of love, and he's always like carrying like the good news. He's like, guys, I have something to tell you, and he's super cute. But I love it. Yes. Is there a new bias? Is he your bias? Or mine? Or are you asking for mine? Ah, from the wishes, my bias is the magne, Saguya. Saguya is my son. Literally, he can be my son. So yes, it's him. The magne. But yeah, all of them are sweet, super young. Yeah, I already adopted him, yes. Okay, I'm going to do this reading very brief, but to see people want to know about people want to know about IU and Lee Jong Suk after the breakup. Let's see. IU, Lee Jong Suk. I mean, it's a very post-breakup feeling. From the part of IU, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Three of Swords. So yeah, a lot of she's facing the heartbreak. She's been very brave, impulsive about like, yeah, these are sad times. And from the part of him, Jong Suk, we have the 10 of Wands and not the 10 of Wands, sorry, the 9 of Wands, and we have the Page of Swords. And then, between them, we have the 2 of Swords. That is as equilibrium. So I think that, yeah, they remain polite to each other, but I think that they also, there's an equilibrium when it comes to this sort of heartache or this, this breakup affecting, it does affect the both of them in a sort of, very fair way. In here, I don't see that there's like one that suffers more than the other. I think that they have two different kinds of way of dealing with this. But seeing the pages, I think that this is just the beginning for them, to somehow deal with this. So, I think that people should also be very respectful. And from the part of Ayu, I kind of see it more because she might get angry at some point because she is heartbroken, because this is important, because this man has been part of her life, her intimate life. So I think that she more than the breakup, I think that she's also a bit, annoyed or a bit like, not so happy about how people are talking about them, either about them or about him or about what they have. I think that this relationship is theirs. So, I think that when people try to, maybe it's about dragging other names or just wanting to, oh, she and this, and it's like, wait, guys, like, what are you saying? Like, I'm going for a breakup in here. So what are you doing? I think that she's very bold about this. She's also very, it's like, don't mess with you because she is not in the mood for BS. So, she can actually call a lot of people out because I think that people are maybe speculating or they are, they are being very disrespectful. They are crossing a line. And I think that she will not have it. She will not have it. She's also like very, very disappointed in people's behaviors. And this could be fans even of hers. And she's like, I'm so disappointed in what you guys are saying. Like, be more respectful. This is their process. In the case of him, I see a lot of resistances, with the 9 of Wands and the Page of Swords. They could be a bit of resistance from his part to let go. Or maybe people are like, seeing, because the Page of Swords is also communication, maybe him being more communicative than her. In the case of her, I see her more like active, like maybe she's going places or she's getting back to work. Or she's going to have a comeback soon. She's not going to stop working. In the case of him, I see him more like maybe online. And the 9 of Wands is like this resistance. It's like maybe people are like, well, maybe he's still insisting because he's also looking at her side. So he could very, impulsively give some hints. It's like, I'm still here. This is not over, at least not from his part, or at least not in his post or what he's saying. He's sort of refusing. He's like, I'm still here. I'm hanging on. I'm still holding on. But yeah, it's them processing, this in different ways. But yeah, I think that's going to take a while, honestly. This is not, I think that for them, this was important, and yeah, both of them have different ways to, cope with this or overcome this. But yeah, the two of Swords, equilibrium. I think that both of them are going to be very, also, just very respectful to each other. It's like probably, not denying nor, not denying nor clarifying things. It's like, it is what it is, it's theirs. This is the thing that people don't understand. This is a two people's relationship. I don't see others. So I think that maybe if people are trying to drag other people inside of this, I find it very disrespectful and very, you know, it's just gross, because it's like this was sacred for them. This was a commitment. So, don't do that. You know. Yeah, it's tough. But people are so disrespectful. That's the thing, that it's like anything goes, Okay. I'm going to pull cards for Heart to Heart's Carmen Energy. Let's see. I think that there was a backlash. People talk about an encore backlash. No. She's a sweetie also. Carmen. She's very mature emotionally also. I mean, she does receive, the feedback, but she is also full of love. She is not, Okay, we have for Carmen, we have the Queen of Cups, we have the Temperance, we have the Sun, and we have the Hermit. And she's always working on her. So, yeah, and the Two of Cups. She's very loved. Very loved. So I don't know what backlash people are talking about, because I don't see her affected. No, she's very loved. She's very loved. She's very well guided. There's a lot of positivity around her. She's probably, been, protected and taken care of, by a lot of people. She has a lot of talents. With the Queen of Cups, she's full of talents. She's not an amateur. She's full of talent, full of emotions, full of sentiments. She's super, loving and just intuitive, and just it feels like Pisces. I know that she's not a Pisces, I believe, but and also I think that she's going to continue to shine. There's plenty of more opportunities for her to shine. It's just that, yeah, with exposure it comes a lot of self-reflection. Yes, maybe she has to maybe work on herself about something, but it's not that deep, because she is a queen already. Two of Cups. She's also only receiving positivity. And about this, I don't know what people are saying, bad feedback or backlash. I don't think that she is receiving this. She's receiving love. She's been understood. She's been respected. I think that she's very loved also. I think that maybe there's a narrative or something going on that people are like, oh, well, we think that she, how people get online. Don't speculate on that, because I see her happy. She's very well protected, and she's enjoying her career and what she does with the group. So, yes, thank God. I hope that they keep that going. Please, we need positivity, please. We need positivity and more talented people happy. Please, don't ruin this SM. Don't ruin this. Yes, exactly, Spirit, exactly. They never protected their idols before. Okay, let's see WOODZ. You wanted an update about WOODZ. Let's see WOODZ. Is he part of a group, WOODZ? It's so complex. Okay, we have the Magician for WOODZ. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Five of Wands. And we have the Tower. A lot of fighting. It's going to be over soon, but yeah, we have the Seven of Cups, Illusion. A lot of water. He's definitely a creator. I see it here. He's always full of ideas. You know, he probably is like a great performer, very sensitive. You know, I think that he never runs out of ideas. He never runs out of, you know, him being a great performer and producer. You know, he's great, and he has like a great charisma, stage charisma. People want to see him, and I think that he appears every once, even when he tells you that he's not going to appear, he appears, and he steals the scene, you know. But I think that there's conflicts also. I think that when he gets off the stage, or when the performance is over, or the show is over, or the creation process is over, there's issues, there's disagreements. And I think that they are pushing really hard to somehow, you know, bring an end to something that is not that stable, and it has to go. So I don't know if it's him associating with other people, but I think that there's something in here that is somehow falling apart, and it's not completely falling apart because there's a resistance. There's disagreements about like, okay, how do we end this? Do we end this or not? And also the Seven of Cups, Illusion, he's very confused. He has a lot of different points of view and maybe options. He daydreams a lot. So he himself doesn't even know what to do in the future, because he has plenty of options, but there's something about him getting lost in those options, like him not being able to make up his mind. He's very confused. I think my friend mentioned, he's a soloist. I think my friend mentioned his music and behavior doesn't seem as these days like he used to before. Yeah, I think that there's a disagreement. Does he have like a band or something? Because yeah, there's disagreement with others. Yeah. Yeah, him as a magician, definitely the spotlight is on him, or he feels like, yeah, I'm the star of the show, or I am, because of me, this exists. So probably he wants the others to, you know, pay more attention to his ideas, and he's like, I have this idea, or I came up with this, so you guys listen to me. And there's disagreements. I think that yeah, maybe he's going to fire some people, or some people are going to leave, but he will have to rebuild this from scratch, because there's instability in here. Just that there's a lot of illusion. Like, I wonder, is he a Pisces? Because it feels like a Pisces energy. It feels like, you know, he's not seeing. I feel like he feels like maybe there's people that are against him doing more things. Like, he wants the spotlight, or he wants to shine more, and he probably blames people in the background. He's like, oh, you know, this didn't work because you failed. And I think that, yeah, there must be something that he's not getting along with these people that work for him, and maybe he has to build, because there's no stability in here. Definitely, I do see him that he's a star. You know, maybe people are like, yeah, you know, him as an artist is like untouchable. He probably is like he's getting the recognition, or people are like, oh my, he's going viral. I don't know. And he is the center. He's important. It's just that it feels erratic. It feels like he maybe is drowning a bit in his ideas. I don't see stability. I don't see stability. There's a lot of cups. Again, the Knight of Cups. A lot of cups. Does he drink? A lot of cups. Okay. He's a Leo. Yeah, it does seem like he's huge. Yes. But I think that maybe he feels like maybe the people that are working for him or with him are holding him down. Like there's a lot of disagreements. And also I don't see the money. I don't see, like, yeah, I see recognition and a lot of spotlight, but where is the money? This is why I'm like, when I say stability, I'm not also thinking about, consistency. I'm thinking like, yeah, he's a great creator, but I'm like, what happens when the lights are off and when you get off the stage? How does this popularity reflects on the numbers, or reflects on maybe people are not getting paid that well because I don't see money. Maybe he needs like someone that can regulate a bit his energy or his business, because he probably thinks that he can do everything on his own, like being a one-man show, like he does everything. He manages himself, he writes the lyrics, and I think that there's a bit of confusion in that. It's like you think that he has so many ideas and so many dreams, but he's not organized in the way he's achieving them. Yes. I see like the cups, yes. Yeah, I think that, yeah, it's just that he needs to, put an end to this conflict that he has with others. If this is like with his co-workers or with his band or with his people in the background, he has to decide, because these people are very unhappy also. So, there has to be a change in that. And then, maybe he can rebuild. But yeah, his image looks okay. Actually, he loves what he does. He loves what he does. It's just that it feels very premature. It feels like it's not well planned. Definitely the talent is there, but it needs more grounding. Yeah, he gets to people's hearts. He feels emotional. This is why I was like, is he a Pisces? Because it feels very watery. Yeah. But when the tower card comes out, it always shows like things that are about to fall, or things that are about to come to an end. It's because they are not being sustained in the right, in the right foundation. They don't have a strong foundation. This is why they fall, or this is why changes happen, or they need to happen. It's like, if this is not real, it's going to fall, because it needs to be different. It needs to be different. If it was good, it wouldn't fall. If it was like working perfectly, it wouldn't fall. But sometimes for things to fall, it's like, well, they're showing you something. Okay, I'm going to go. I've been here for 2 hours. Thank you, Spirit, for keeping me company today. Thank you so much. Daniel also was here. Parvati was also here. Thank you so much, guys. I hope that you have a lovely weekend. Thank you. Thank you for the chat as well, because we have been we have been talking and ranting here. But thank you, you keeping me company. Sometimes at this hour there's no one here, and I feel very lonely. And thank you to the recommendation, guys. I will see you if everything goes well. I will see you on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Argentinian time. Okay. Bye.